Hello everybody, it's Alien Butler Blunders and welcome to a brand new, exciting figure and toy review video today. I'm bringing you my first ever NECA Godzilla figure. I started with NECA Alien figures, I've got 3 of those, and I've recently picked up a NECA King Kong, but this is my first ever NECA Godzilla. So I have huge respect for NECA as a company, but unfortunately you don't see many NECA Godzilla figures in the UK, but I was desperate to pick up a wonderful articulated detailed collector's figure. The 2 options I was deciding between was the SH Monster Arts 1954 Godzilla after the very first film, which is definitely my favourite Godzilla film, masterpiece of cinema, but that was £120 in the UK. SH Monster Art figures are very expensive, and from what I can see they don't have accessories. So the NECA figure, which is what I've ended up with, has a wonderful atomic breath accessory. It's kind of like a slightly soft, it's not soft, it's quite a tough plastic, but it does kind of bend, and it's kind of translucent cream coloured, and they've coloured it with white. Godzilla is known for having blue atomic breath, and in the King Kong versus Godzilla 1962 film, which this is based off, it is blue. It's the first ever Godzilla movie in colour, and it's a blue atomic breath piece, so but you know what, it's fine. That's a very small detail because this figure is really fantastic. I was supposed to do this video as an unboxing, and you can see it's boxed in the background there, but there is assembly required with this figure. It's not like I can slide it out, because you do need to dip the sockets of the tailpiece in hot water and then plug it into this ball and socket joint here. It doesn't come as a complete figure. There is some assembly required there. I tried to do it with a hairdryer first time, and I ended up damaging the plastic a little bit, scraping the external layer off, and then I did it with hot water and it went immediately. It didn't make a pop sound, but this is a bit of a notice. If you are going to pick up one of these amazing figures, please don't just try to jam it in without heating it. Don't try to use a hairdryer on it, just use hot water, because you might damage the plastic. But no, I use quite warm water, not hot water, but towards hot. So it is an amazing figure. It's very similar in style to the very first Godzilla from the 1954 movie, which is this one. The only major difference for the 1962 movie is that there's a big head redesign. Everyone says Godzilla's head looks more like a frog's head, and that has a retro appeal to it, which I really do like. And if I'm talking about this figure, I'll get my ruler and say that he is, let's see, he is 25 centimeters long, and he is 18 centimeters tall. So these are generally called 6-inch figures, referring to 6 inches in height, which is about 18 centimeters. And it's great. I like that the tail isn't bendy, isn't a metal wire in bendy plastic. I like that it's kind of segmented with solid bits of plastic. The alien tails from the alien movies that NECA do, they are kind of soft rubber. So I like that they've chosen a segmented for Godzilla. And he's great. The plates on his back are kind of a soft rubber, so you can pose him in different positions if you wanted to. I'm going to keep him quite still. I'm not going to do too many crazy poses with him, but he's just great from every angle. He's so good. And the inside of the mouth is great too. If you can see there, they've they've painted the teeth, they've painted the tongue, and it's fantastic. I was worried when I opened it that the eye did look a tiny bit sloppy, as you can see there. The yellow paint application hasn't been perfect, but that's a very small detail really, because everything about this figure is fantastic. The paint application, the weight of it, it's a great solid heavy plastic. The joints are great. It's funny that this is at the moment the only NECA Godzilla figure you can get in the UK on like Amazon, because word of mouth is that this is the best NECA Godzilla figure they've done in terms of articulation, in terms of paint, in terms of sculpt, and I really am over the moon with this one because it's so good. So I mean, £80 is a bit of a stretch for what should have been a £50 or £60 figure, but I'm very happy I made the decision to get this one, and he is really amazing. And if we compare him to the NECA King Kong figure, the NECA King Kong figure is taller. The NECA King Kong figure is about 20 centimeters tall. So he does seem taller than Kong, taller than Godzilla. But that's all right, because Godzilla is still a huge, massive figure with a great weight to him. He's actually heavier than King Kong. And if we compare him to a NECA, kind of like a human figure, you can see King Kong is roughly the same height, and Godzilla's just a little bit shorter than an average NECA human figure. But that's fine. He makes up for it by having this huge tail, huge plates on his back. He really is a dominating presence on any shelf. I absolutely, totally recommend this. I'm over the moon with this. And I'll keep my eyes open for any other NECA Godzilla figures in the UK. I'm always welcome to that. I will do my brief thoughts on this movie. It's not the best movie I've ever seen. Unfortunately, in the UK, you can only see the American dubbed version from the 1960s. The dub really isn't great. It's definitely a sillier movie compared to the very, very serious, amazingly acted first film. So this is definitely a weak point in the series. So I don't mind. I've got a figure of that though, just because it's so similar, and every Godzilla design looks like Godzilla. It has a Godzilla essence to him. And thoughts on the box? The box poster is fantastic. Really is a great box. Oops, Kong's fallen over. Really is a very great box. Godzilla was posed in there. I was originally going to cut the ties and have him come out the box, but the assembly of the tail meant that it was probably easier if I just did it after I'd assembled the figure. So it's a great pose of him there. He's next to Mount Fuji in this climactic King Kong fighting Godzilla scene. And he's just fantastic. The production in this is great. Really, really good. So I'm really happy to add that to my collection and pick that up. So that's the 2018 King Kong versus Godzilla 1962 Godzilla figure. Really is fantastic. And that concludes this video today. So thank you for watching this. Stay tuned, stay posted. I'm producing stuff as often as I can. So thanks for watching today, and I'll see you again. Bye, guys.